The world around us is moving, not with the footsteps of humans, but with silent armies, millions of creatures embarking on journeys of survival. On the cracked plains of Africa, where dust clouds obscure the sky, herds of antelope gallop like a storm, crossing rivers, evading hippos, evading crocodiles. Beneath the deep ocean, tiny turtles born in darkness swim against raging currents to return to where life began. In the wild skies, seabirds never touching land for years soar through storms, cross oceans, just to survive. And in the heart of the sea, whales, whale sharks, solitary giants roaming thousands of miles. This is not just migration. This is a battle between instinct and harshness, a symphony of life. Welcome to the most magnificent animal migrations in the world. The Serengeti, located in East Central Africa, is a grassland ecosystem spanning over 30,000 square kilometers, stretching across Tanzania and extending into southern Kenya. It is one of the most biodiverse and renowned plains in the world. The Serengeti is home to many iconic African animals, including lions, leopards, elephants, antelopes, and especially large-scale migratory herbivores. Hundreds of thousands of zebras live and migrate through this land. Each zebra bears a unique pattern of black and white stripes, no two alike, much like human fingerprints. Sharing this ecosystem are about 2 million wildebeest, distinguished by their shaggy manes and sturdy hooves. Each year, they undertake one of the planet's most spectacular migrations. Covering nearly 500 kilometers in a cyclical journey between Tanzania and Kenya. searching for fresh grass, essential food during the dry season. However, this is a perilous journey where many will perish from exhaustion, starvation, or fall prey to skilled predators. When the rains pour down on southern Serengeti, life awakens. Herds of wildebeest, zebras, and Thompson's gazelles spread across the plains, savoring the brief abundance of lush green grass gifted by nature. But the rain does not linger. Rivers dry up. The earth cracks, and life faces another test. Now only rare patches of green remain. Far away, in the north and west, the herds gather, grow larger, build momentum, then move. A wave of animals stretching 40 kilometers surges across the plains, millions of wildebeest, hundreds of thousands of zebras. Together, forming an unstoppable torrent. On this path, there is unity. There are challenges. There is exhaustion. But no stopping. Behind them lies dust and barren land. Ahead, delayed rains, and the hope of waiting grasslands. Before them, the Mara River. Not wide, not deep, but enough to turn the migration into a nightmare. The churning waters are not just a test of strength and courage, but a place where predators lurk, patient and unhurried. Beneath the murky surface, jaws with sharp, powerful, terrifying, and ruthless bites glide silently. Nile crocodiles, silent assassins, can lie motionless for weeks, waiting for this moment. When the lead animals plunge in, chaos erupts. Dust rises from slippery banks. Hooves pound against rocks. Panicked cries echo through the riverbed. Some make it across. Some are swept away. Some never resurface. For those caught in the jaws of crocodiles, the journey ends here. Yet despite the dangers, the migration must go on. The need for survival, especially for fresh grass and clean water, acts like an invisible force, pulling even the weakest young and the senior animals into this grueling journey. To survive, they must cross hundreds of kilometers of arid, treacherous terrain in the vast Serengeti. Remarkably, with no map or guide, these herbivores always know when to leave and where to go. Humans still haven't fully unraveled their navigation mechanisms. Some theories suggest they respond to environmental cues, like humidity in the air. The scent of fresh grass carried by the wind, or distant lightning and thunder signaling rain. But perhaps stronger than all is the instinct for survival etched deep in their blood. On this harsh migration, wildebeest and zebras often travel together. A symbiotic strategy that brings vital benefits to both species. Zebras have sharper vision and hearing, helping them detect threats from predators early. This allows wildebeest, especially the young, to watch the zebra's reactions and sense danger in time. Though both are herbivores, they don't directly compete. Zebras tend to eat the taller, drier stems and leaves, while wildebeest prefer the shorter, fresher grass near the ground. This dietary difference allows the two species to share a plain with little conflict. Their distinct senses and feeding habits create a balanced relationship, helping both survive the long, harsh migration more effectively. When they reach the southern Kenyan plains, the wildebeest and zebra herds get a rare chance to rest and recover. They graze, drink, and store energy after the grueling journey. However, this land cannot hold them for long. The low phosphorus levels, a mineral essential for bone, teeth, and muscle development, cannot meet the herd's needs. And then, like an unchanging cycle, the rains begin again in the south. The first rains awaken the Serengeti plains, spurring nutrient-rich fresh grass to sprout, especially high in phosphorus. This grass becomes a silent but powerful call, an irresistible signal urging these resilient travelers to set out again. Back to the south, to begin the endless migration of their lives. Like the wildebeest, the olive ridley sea turtle, one of the world's most common sea turtles, also undertakes a remarkable reproductive migration. From feeding grounds thousands of kilometers offshore, female turtles return to the sandy beaches where they were born to mate and lay eggs. It's a long, exhausting journey that drains nearly all their strength. At the right season, thousands of mother turtles come ashore at once, creating a natural phenomenon called arribada, Spanish for the return from the ocean. For a few short days, tropical beaches transform into a sea of turtles, a rare sight in the wild. Typically, each female turtle lays eggs 1 to 2 times per season. After completing their task, they return to the ocean, embarking on a journey back to feeding grounds, sometimes over 4,000 kilometers away. It's a cycle repeated throughout their lives, but for some, this journey may be their final return. From the deep blue ocean, a solitary creature approaches the shore. It's a female olive ridley sea turtle. Having lived decades in the vast ocean, now returning to her birthplace to begin her journey as a mother. She crawls slowly across the sand, leaving heavy tracks behind. Not fast, not rushed, but full of determination. Using her front flippers to scoop sand and her back flippers to dig a hole, the mother turtle patiently prepares a small birthing room beneath the sand. When the nest is ready, she begins to lay. About 100 round white eggs per clutch, sometimes repeating up to 3 times in a season. Finally, she carefully covers the nest, pressing the sand down with her body. a final instinctual act to protect her young. Then she turns back to the sea, without looking back. Never to meet the tiny lives she brought into the world. The ocean calls and she vanishes into the waves of the night. Nearly 2 months later, the sand stirs. The baby turtles hatch at night or dawn, struggling to emerge from the warm sand, drawn toward the moonlight reflecting on the sea. The beach stretches like a marathon. And their odds of survival are slim. Predators lie in wait. Black vultures, scavengers of carrion, won't pass up an easy meal. Ghost crabs, small sand dwellers, with sharp claws and lightning speed, are ready to strike any stray hatchling. Only a few turtle hatchlings pass this gate of death. But for the lucky ones, today is a victory. They plunge into the sea, diving into the salty waves, beginning their wandering life in the ocean. No one knows where they go in their early years. They may follow ocean currents or hide in the open sea. But when they reach adulthood, instinct guides them back to the same sandy beach, continuing this wondrous cycle. Like the baby turtles, sooty terns live a life tied to the vast ocean world. Once they leave land, it may be years before they return. With long, slender wings, these seabirds glide thousands of kilometers across oceans, rarely stopping. They hunt while flying, mainly small fish or squid swept near the surface by waves. Though they live near the sea, they can hardly rest on water, as their thin, non-waterproof feathers make them prone to soaking, affecting their flight. They are true sky architects, spending most of their lives drifting in the air, between sea and sky. Scientists have even found that sooty terns can take short sleep dives mid-flight, a unique skill allowing them to survive in the air for weeks, even months at a time. When breeding season arrives, instinct draws them back to land, often to small, remote tropical islands. Here, thousands of pairs gather, creating noisy, bustling cities in the wild. During breeding, they perform courtship rituals to form monogamous bonds, rare among seabirds. Each pair lays a single egg, taking turns to incubate it. Daily, one parent flies hundreds of kilometers to sea to hunt, returning to feed the chick. When breeding season ends, the terns leave their nests, resuming their nomadic life across tropical seas. And when instinct calls again, they return to land, where a new cycle begins. Pelicans, large birds with a somewhat comical look and distinctive long beaks, are often associated with coastlines or fishing ports. But in Australia, they don't just stay by the sea. Wherever there's enough fish, rivers, lakes, swamps, or inland estuaries, pelicans can be found. Their most striking trait isn't their appearance. With wingspans up to 2.5 meters and iconic giant beaks, but an unexpected behavior, migrating deep inland rather than out to sea. At Australia's arid center lies Lake Eyre, a massive salt basin, the continent's lowest point. Most of the year, the lake is bone dry, but in rare years when heavy rains flood the desert and rivers flow again, water fills the basin, and with it, pelicans arrive. They fly in flocks, following newly formed waterways, stopping at springs and puddles to rest. Many return to the very place they hatched. Lake Eyre fills with water only about 3 times in 150 years. For many pelicans, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. When the lake brims with water and fish abound, pelicans enter breeding season. As ground nesters, females typically lay 2 to 3 eggs. After just over a month, the first chicks hatch. In their early weeks, the chicks rely entirely on food brought back from the lake by their parents. Born amid nature's abundance, these young birds start life with promise, but it's a brief beginning. No one knows how long the lake will hold water, perhaps months, perhaps weeks. As water recedes and fish dwindle, the flocks begin to leave. The migration resumes, not on a fixed cycle, but guided by nature's faint signals. And one day when rain falls again and Lake Eyre refills, Australian pelicans will return. Just as their ancestors did. Some of the planet's greatest migrations don't unfold on land, but hide beneath the deep blue ocean. In those depths, massive creatures swim thousands of kilometers in their lifetimes. Silently, steadily, mysteriously. Among them, humpback whales stand out as remarkable travelers. They journey from cold, nutrient-rich feeding grounds to warm tropical waters to give birth. It's a long trip, sometimes lasting months, crossing entire oceans. Whale sharks, the world's largest fish, also embark on mysterious migrations. Though exact routes remain unclear, scientists believe their migrations are tied to the distribution of plankton, tiny organisms that are their primary food source. Throughout their lives, whale sharks may swim thousands of kilometers on journeys spanning years. Beyond food, many giant creatures migrate to breed. They swim to warmer, shallower, calmer waters where female whales give birth in safety. From wildebeest, zebra herds crossing the Serengeti plains, to sea turtles quietly crawling onto sandy beaches to lay eggs. From terns that don't touch land for years to pelican flocks crossing deserts to find water and the ocean's giants. Each migration is a marvel of nature.